everyone, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Hiveswap Friendsim. Last time we met Marvis, a purple blood rapper who pretty much everyone loves. In one of the endings, Zebra got torn to shreds by the crowd, basically, which actually made me kind of sad. But the most interesting thing that happened in the route was that our character is now fully aware of the different timelines, and we actually had a rather interesting discussion with Marvis on what defines canon versus non-canon. Which is a topic that's come up in the Homestuck epilogue, so this is quite fascinating to me. Anyway, we got some new trolls today, and I'm excited to meet them, whoever they are. Volume 17 of Teen and Tech Acerbic. They both look pretty awesome, not gonna lie. Ah yes, this is it, fellas. Another night of laughter and camaraderie. Another night of joy and communion with some totally normal teens who would never hurt. Ha, just kidding, idiot. You're still in Larternia. You just know one of these miserable chuckle fucks is around here somewhere, waiting for the exact right moment to inundate you with another disgusting dose of friendship. Who is going to be the author of your destruction on this accursed evening? Okay. You have a cool style, very punk, and you look like a wrestler. I'm happy to meet both of you. Oh, I was going to say she looks like Daraya, and then I looked at her name. Daraya. Daraya Jonjet. That's a wonderful name. I'm going to have to send a picture of her to my sister. Alright, Daraya. Your feet drag as you walk, every limb heavy and slow, and your thoughts are cloudy and dull. Your palm husk is filled with unanswered texts. You feel guilty about this in the back of your mind, where real feelings live crammed together because the front of your mind is too busy being lethargic and numb. Being a bad friend goes against the core tenets of your beliefs, but answering texts just seems like too much effort. Oh, I am the worst at answering texts. Seriously. I ghost people all the time without really intending to. I'm just not good at remaining connected with people. You're not sure what this particular malaise comes from, just that the usual friend-making animus that drives you is still there, but it doesn't feel strong enough to overcome how tired you are of everything else. You can't quite remember how it felt to care that much about companionship and camaraderie. In fact, right now you can't remember how it felt to care about much of anything. Your thoughts drift to fantasies of driving your car into the uninhabited Alternian desert until you run out of fuel, and perhaps letting the sun have its way with you. It could be part of that feeling that you've almost made all the friends there are to make, and that there's little left for you to do on this planet. It could be weeks of trauma catching up to you and sinking into depression to protect you from thinking about it all. Either way, it just feels like so much effort to do anything, and you'd sort of welcome oblivion if it showed up right now to offer its sweet embrace. Your listless walking has taken you into a familiar neighborhood. Ah, the cerulean part of town. You smile as you reminisce, sweet memories peeking through like beams of sunlight through the fog of your apathy. Not far from here is Malik's Hive, with all its hacking equipment and charming upper-middle-class atmosphere of entitlement and complacence mixed with vaguely socially aware concern. And though you've only seen pictures of it on Twitter, you know that Ramel's hipster art studio/hive is also in the neighborhood. And one block over is Ardato's place, which gave you your gruesome and troubling introduction to Alternian social mores. One taught you love, one taught you patience, one taught you pain, or something like that. Aw, Malik taught us love? Really? Aw. I do love Malik. Look at all these people, out partying. The hive you're closest to is actually Elward's, and as you shamble closer you realize that a lot of other trolls seem to be converging here too. Fishing out your palm husk, you see that the unread message from Elward is an invitation to a party at her place. Looking around, you feel a flame of your old desire to meet and greet rekindling in your heart. There are plenty of trolls here you haven't met yet, plenty of opportunities for friendship. The now roaring fire in your belly feels a little artificial, like someone just injected you with friend-making hormones to flood out your regular human melancholy, but you're not going to complain because this is vastly preferable. As you're walking briskly towards Elward's hive, you spot a troll lurking in the shadows by Elward's back door. Curious, you approach, and when you get closer you can spot the jade green in her outfit. Although there's not much of her blood color in comparison to what most other trolls seem to sport, because she's mostly wearing black. And spikes. And black spikes. It's you. Guess it makes sense you'd be here. You're probably friends with Elward, huh? Whatever. Yeah, you're friends with Elward, but you didn't come here for the party, you're just in the neighborhood. You try to mimic Daria's disaffected slouch. It's not hard, as you can just channel the you from about 60 seconds ago, who is very disaffected indeed. From the approving arch of Daria's eyebrow, you think you're doing a pretty good job. Yeah, parties are lame. Most parties are anyway. This one might be cool. Elward's pretty cool. Aw, you're blushing a little. I mean, she seems alright. I don't think she's that cool, I just think her hair and clothes and personality don't completely suck is all. You tactfully don't comment on the green blush to Daria's cheeks when she's talking about Elward, nor the way she keeps glancing at the door like she's hoping someone will invite her in. She's clearly trying to sneak into this party and doesn't have an invite. Hey, I'll let you in. You can be my +1. And then you can go flirt with Elward and I can get another ship. When a branch snaps in the bushes, Daria startles and looks around shiftily. You wonder if she's supposed to be out on her own this far from the caverns at all. I'm not a baby like Wanshi. So what if I snuck out? The cloister rules are so lame. Branya's so lame. I can't believe Elward used to hang out with her, but I guess if she hadn't befriended Branya, then I never would have met her. It's hard to meet non-jade bloods in the caverns. All the time you're underground with nothing but lucii and grubs and the same stupid jades every day. It sucks down there. Daria's imitation grub horn bracelets clunk as she folds her arms over her chest. Her heavy makeup makes it look like her eyes are twin black holes where all sense of fun and caring about things might go to die. She's giving you a marked contrast from how Branya talked about the caverns, with the peace and quiet and safety they offered compared to Alternia's surface. And other than that time Lanera nearly killed you in a cave and that time you were nearly trampled by a rampaging Lucis, you remember liking the caverns. You would think that. Don't know why I thought you might be cool. You might be friends with Elward, but you're also friends with, Branya and Lanera. They're the two most boring trolls on this planet. You can't help but feel slightly defensive of your friends. Sure, Lanera is Lanera, but you wouldn't call her boring. And Branya is very fond of rules, it's true, but she can hang. Whatever. This conversation is dumb. I don't care if you can't get me into the party, nothing matters anyway. Just make your stupid choice and get on with it. Party hard. What the hell, it's not your job to keep anyone in line. It's not like you have a great understanding of why even the older Jade Bloods need to stay underground anyway. If Daria wants to sneak into parties and get into trouble, who are you to say no? Daria expresses no pleasure or decision to get her into the party. She just shrugs and rolls her eyes. You shrug and roll your eyes back. You can play the role of disaffected teen with the best of them. You take her around to the front door. Hey, you're looking forward to seeing Elward again. When you met her, you didn't have nearly as many friends as you do now, and in retrospect, you know you came off as kind of sycophantic. Wouldn't it be great if you could introduce Elward to the new, popular, knowledgeable you? As you're walking up the steps, a huge shadow dwarfs yours. You look up to see Chahut of all trolls grinning above you. Hi, Chahut. It's been a while. Well, hey, little one. I remember you. And who's this new little one you've got with you? Chahut switches her inches from you to Daria, grinning down at her. Daria isn't huge for a Jade Blood or anything, but she seems absurdly tiny with Chahut looming down at her like that. Her face remains impassive and bored, but she scuffs one of her big black boots on the ground and twists one of her spiky bracelets around on her wrist. Cute. Don't see many little jades outside the caverns. I've always found the greenies fascinating, so devoted to the continuation of the species. What a holy mission. Chahut moves slowly and lazily, oh geez, like she has all the time in the world and no conceivable reason to rush, and reaches out to pat Daria's shoulder. She lets her hand linger, one claw resting against Daria's neck. Ain't it a dangerous proposition to be so far away from your green brothers and sisters? Unless you're hiding something in those pretty veins. A slimy chill runs down your spine. Daria seems frozen to the spot, staring straight ahead at Chahut's bosom in front of her. You think Chahut is joking, but it can be hard to tell with clowns. Their humor is just so much more highbrow than everyone else's. Just joking. This looks like a good party, even if Elward is too blasphemous for my taste sometimes. See both you little ones inside. And then she ambles away, bending down to duck inside the door to the party. You hear party sounds, music and laughter, and clinking drinks, and what could be the sound of someone being murdered, which qualifies as party noise on this planet. Then the door swings shut again, and you and Daria look at each other. Daria's heavy makeup can make it hard to read her expression, but you can tell that she's rattled. You know what? It looks like this party is filled with lame conformers. All these high bloods that bind to the system and do what they're told, even Elward. We can find something better to do somewhere else. Yeah, to hell with this party. You're down to find your own fun, especially if that means not putting Daria in the way of potentially murder-happy clowns. As you saunter away from the party, you realize that Daria is looking at you expectantly. Well, you've got this reputation for being all unconventional and weird and rebellious. Everyone seems to think that you're like totally fucking with the conventions of society or whatever. So you got any suggestions for cool shit to do? God, you've sure felt a lot of pressure to be quirky since word has spread about your manic pixie dream alien ways. It's not like you're trying to be a vehicle for other characters to project onto, assisting in character growth and insight for those around you while keeping your impulse decisions and carefree ways to somehow keep yourself stagnant and forever unchanged. It just seems to sometimes be like that. Anyway, you're tired. It's daunting to have a punk teen expecting you to come up with suggestions for cool stuff. You have a feeling she's just going to shoot down whatever you suggest. You rack your brain trying to think of anywhere from your many adventures with Daria might like. Your think bank comes up with zilch and squat, and she's starting to look bored with you. Confessing that you can't think of anything is possibly an option if you want Daraya to be your friend. And as exhausted and disillusioned as you feel with your socialite routine, you like her and you want to bond. I don't know, what do you want to do? You tell Daraya that you have no ideas for cool things to do because everything from this planet is lame. But she's from here, doesn't she know of any non-lame places to go? Ugh, I told you, I'm stuck underground all the time. It's not my fault that I'm literally sheltered and never get to do anything fun. Oops. Maybe this was the wrong approach. She seems pissed at you. But then Daraya sighs loudly and uncrosses her arms from her chest. I do know of one place that's pretty alright, I guess. Better than here, anyway. It's far, though. Not a problem, you've got wheels. You're walking around the neighborhood because, well, you felt like lifeless and glum and your car needs alien fuel, which you've been reluctant to ask someone how to get because you don't want to be told it runs on grub grease or something like that. But now you have a purpose again, and you're more than willing to provide transportation and service of your new friendship goal. You take Daraya to your car parked a few blocks away and she directs you where to go. You drive through neighborhood after neighborhood, through the yellow blood slums where you met Follicle and Kupram, the busy urban sector where you had adventures with Tagora, and the austere indigo blood enclave where Gallic lives. Eventually the buildings get sparse, and you think about how you were yearning to drive out into the barren landscape and not die maybe, but stop. Just let it all end. You don't think Daraya would take you all the way out here just for you both to meet sweet oblivion, but who knows, trolls can be kinda hard to predict. Just when you've reached a point where there can't be any more city or suburbs left, a rubble of massive old buildings comes into view. It looks like a miniature version of the main Alternian city that you're used to, except it's all abandoned and mostly ruined. Nothing around here looks inhabitable. Rumor has it that some of the trolls who lived here pissed off the Condas, so she culled this whole town. That would have been way back in the day. It's ancient history now. If there were any survivors, I guess they'd either be dead or up in space. Anyway, these old buildings are kinda sick. There's never anyone else here, and I'm into that. You drive until she tells you to stop in front of a huge crumbling building, and even though this thing is half gone, you can still tell it's a mall. Oh cool, abandoned mall. I can get behind that. It seems a bit different from the mall you visited with Polypa, even aside from the fact that it's totally dark and there's no one inside it. It seems more old-fashioned, a lot more like one of your familiar Earth malls. Every dystopian movie you've ever seen has taught you to be extremely wary of abandoned malls, and you feel pretty nervous as Daraya takes you up the rickety frozen escalator. It's so dark you can barely see your hand in front of your face. You're trying not to show your fear because you don't want to look like a wuss in front of Daraya, but you can't hold back a whimper when your foot lands on a step that makes a distinctive about-to-collapse noise. Don't be scared. It's okay, I've climbed all over this place 1,000 times, and anything that isn't already disintegrated is sturdy enough. And there's no risk of calling out here because, well, everyone's already been called. She's gentler toward you than you would have expected given her cynical and spiky demeanor. You swallow your fear as you reach the top of the escalator and tell her that's chill, you just have some horror movie associations. Daraya turns and pats you stiffly on the arm. You would never tell her this, but her reassuring manner once she's noticed someone and is in distress kind of reminds you of Branya. It's worth it when you get to the cool part. Come on. She's so cute, I like her. Shit continues to be dark for a while, though you see some light up ahead. As you get closer, the hall opens up into a food court, and you see that the light is moonlight shining through a mostly absent roof. And Daraya was right. There's something extremely surreal and cool about a decrepit empty food court with the roof caved in. Rubble sits atop cafeteria tables and plastic food trays are scattered on the floor and... Okay, that might be the remains of a troll skeleton, still wearing a mostly disintegrated fast food uniform. Which is less cool and makes you remember this place is abandoned because the Condas sent drones here to murder everyone. You wanna know the weirdest thing about this mall? It seems like actual adults used to maybe work here. I've gone through a lot of stores and some of them are for adult-sized things. And there's a store just for, like, shit that drones bring you now. There's army supplies for going off-world, too. If this mall was for adults, it must be really fucking ancient. Jeez, has it really been that long since there were any adults on this planet? Even after all your time on Alternia, that still kinda freaks you out. What must it be like to grow up entirely without adults? To live on a planet that's nothing but kids? Daraya gives you a weird look. What would it even be like to have adults down here too? This sounds way more dangerous and stupid. It's not like we're all wigglers. Trolls have to grow out of that mindset pretty fast. People have responsibilities or whatever the fuck, or at least they pretend to. And there's training and stuff for Jades. We're basically trapped. Maybe you'd think that Planet of Kids would mean you could do whatever you want, but I've never had any freedom. And I'll have even less as an adult. Cloistered Jades aren't even allowed to join the Imperial Army. Instead, we get shipped off to live in isolation. We're forbidden to contribute genetic material to the slurry, and no paling is allowed once we've matured. For some, I don't know, bullshit old-fashioned reason that I pretty much don't understand at all. On Alternia, your whole future is decided the second you're hatched. People tell me all the time that I have it lucky as a Jade blood, but I don't feel lucky at all. Ugh, yeah. You agree with Daraya that the future she's described sounds bleak as hell. Right? It's going to fucking suck. It's so shitty that I have it good. I mean, at least I don't have a certain early death in my future, unlike a lot of low bloods. The system is so fucked up, it's never gonna change, and I hate it here. I just want a way out of it. Maybe when you go back to your home planet, you could take me with you. Oh, I wish I could. The request comes out of left field, and for a few seconds you just blink at her stupidly. Even with all that angry black makeup around her eyes, she just looks so sad. Sad and lost. You wish you had a different answer to give her, but you tell her that you can't take her back to your planet because you don't know how, when, or if you're ever going home. You've been trying not to contemplate the future because on the rare occasions that you do let yourself think about it, existential dread tends to take over. Dread. Yeah, that's the word for it. The older I get, the more I realize how shitty things are. I try not to think about it, just like you. But still it's home sometimes, and when it does, I don't feel like angry or rebellious. Instead, I feel completely fucking paralyzed. This, too, is a familiar emotion to you. You feel this for Daraya, who has wandered over to the middle of the food court and is staring up through the cave in at the moons. You know, it's really sad when I remember that all these trolls are really dead in the canon timeline. Like, every troll is dead aside from the ones that we met in Homestuck. At least as far as we know. She has her arms wrapped around her middle, and the spiky jewelry and jagged haircut and big black boots don't do anything to make her look less small. You wish you knew what to say to make her feel better. You've done a decent job at cheering up dejected trolls in the past, but it's hard when you're feeling so crappy about your own situation. You mutter something about how things could still get better, you never know what the future holds, yada yada yada. And she looks at you like she just knows how hollow your words are. You sound just like Piranha. Next, are you gonna tell me how important Jadebloods are and what honor all this responsibility is? Give me a break. Optimism is for chumps and losers. Keeping grubs safe doesn't matter, the continuation of our species doesn't matter. Nothing any of us do fucking matters. You feel your blood getting hot to match the steel that's now in her voice. A sick part of you finds this train of thought a lot more viscerally satisfying than trying to cheer her up, which wasn't working anyway. You stamp your feet and so does she. I can't believe anyone bothers trying to carve out a real life on this worthless shithole of a planet. There's no point, we might as well all be cold. In the back of your mind, you know you should maybe be disagreeing with some of this, but you're too worked up to care. Maybe Daria's right, maybe nothing matters. That's fucking right. Maybe I should just quit. You falter in your righteous fury. Maybe quitting is going a bit far. If quitting is a euphemism for what I think it is. Maybe the Highbloods that go around causing death and destruction just because they can have the right idea. This is starting to sound not so great. What doesn't sound great about it? Who cares if I decide I don't want to be a caretaker? Instead, I just burn shit down for fun. There's no point in anything, so why does it matter? Who cares? Daria's hands are balled into fists, and her teeth are bared as she glares at you. You open your mouth, maybe to tell her that you care, even though that would probably sound trite, but no words come out. She scoffs and turns away from you and jumps on a crumbly-looking cafeteria table. You know what? Fuck this. Friendship is as pointless as everything else. She picks up one of the chairs, and you really need to stop being surprised at the strength of even the scrawny-looking trolls, and hurls it at the nearest fast food stall. You thought it was just a random throw at first, but it appears that she was aiming with precision because it crashes into a tank of fuel connected to the oven. You're not sure how alternative cooking technology works, but the stall explodes in a huge green-tinged fireball that knocks you on your ass. Oh, are you okay? You watch in horror from your S-level vantage point as the flames lick into the restaurants on either side, explosions happening around the food court like dominoes. Daraya stands on her table in the middle of it, moving even as the fire threatens to envelop her. This is probably the only place I actually like on this whole planet. So good riddance. If it's gone, one less thing to care about. With all the dust and debris, this mall's coming down fast around you. You desperately want to get Daraya out of here, but you desperately want to save yourself more. And Daraya doesn't look like she wants to be saved. You make a feeble attempt going over to her and trying to grab her around the waist to get her out of there, but she kicks you hard in the chest. Her steel-toed combat boots send you flying, and it's once again 0 days since you last broke your ribs. As used to this pain as you are, it still takes you a second of lying on the floor in agony before you can push yourself to look back at the food court. A wall of fire separates you from the tables inside. You can't even see Daraya anymore. Your heart sinks. Maybe she'll come to her senses and pull herself up out of danger and escape through the caved-in roof. Maybe she'll get out some other way. You stumble to your feet, half thinking that maybe you can find water or a fire extinguisher in some part of this mall that isn't burning up. But smoke chokes your lungs, and in your panic, your human survival instincts take over. You dash down the escalator as mall infrastructure starts to crumble around you, and you don't want to abandon Daraya, but It's all you can do to get your own sorry self out of there alive. Wow, that was really sad. So Daraya basically just committed suicide. Wow. That could have definitely gone better. Let's wander the streets like hoodlums. Here's the thing. Your weirdest and best adventures have happened to you when you just decide to be spontaneous and just let shit happen. Adventures and coolness are both hard things to plan. So, what are you suggesting? That we just wander? Her derisive tone makes you hesitate, but, well, yes, that's exactly what you're suggesting. Daraya gives you a long, considering look. You hold your breath. Then she shrugs. Okay, whatever, sure. Not like I have anything better to do. Let's just go. You meander through the well-maintained cerulean streets, heading downtown. It seems like a good opportunity to get to know your potential friend, so you start by asking her some fairly simple questions. How am I? Gee, I don't know. I'm forbidden to leave the stupid caverns as a jade blood. All I have to look forward to is a life of being forbidden to do things. How do you think I am? Okay. You try to walk that one back a little. It sounds like Daraya is unsatisfied with the jade blood setup. That's one way to put it. You could also say I'm unsatisfied with, like, the whole setup of my species. You've been here a while now. Don't tell me that you haven't noticed that every part of our society is transparent bullshit. You glance around because Daria's right. You've been around a while, and that means you know enough to know that if the wrong people overheard this kind of talk, you'd both get cold on the spot. But everyone here seems distracted by their own nonsense. Cautiously, you can see that, yeah, you've noticed a certain bullshit aroma. Yep, it all stinks. No one has any kind of real future except for the highest of the high bloods. And actually, I've heard that things pretty much suck for them, too. Some might say that purple bloods are the most disprivileged class of them all. Is this a meme now? Is that what's going on? You're just going to continue to not comment on that one. Instead, you point out that being a jade blood, Daraya has a purpose beyond just growing up to become fodder in the Imperial Army, like you've heard countless other trolls mention. Sure, that counts as a real future. Ugh. Don't get me started. Suffice to say, I'm not exactly hype about the purpose that I supposedly have. More like the purpose that was arbitrarily assigned to me. But it's not like I have a choice, and rebelling in any sort of real way would put me in danger of a calling. Life here is pretty much just hopeless. Damn, you wish you had a good counter-argument. You want to give her some words of comfort, but what can you even say? Daria's right, shit's grim. At least you're honest. Thanks for not bullshitting me. You know, Lanera said you were good to talk about the real stuff. I guess she was right. You're surprised that Lanera is going around talking about you, saying positive things even, but you're more surprised that Daraya is bringing her up in a non-derisive context. You didn't know that Daraya and Lanera were close? Ugh, no, gross. I hate Lanera. And not in a romantic way. Or, well, anyway, never mind. Daraya looks embarrassed and flustered and also pissed at you. At least you've gotten the subject away from how hopeless everything is, but still, you don't want this friendship to turn sour. As you're scanning your useless brain for tactful subject change, you're saved by the footsteps of a new troll approaching. Do we know this person? Oh hey, it's Tyzeus! As luck would have it, you know this troll. It's Tyzeus, which makes sense because your meandering has taken you and Daraya close to Tyzeus' favorite book hive. Oh, it's you. What are you doing here? Never mind, I don't even need to ask. You're obviously making friends with this jade blood. Searching for some dumb shit to do, no doubt. Don't let me keep you. Tyzeus looks just as exhausted as you remember. You don't want her to go just yet because it's been a while since you've seen her and you're always eager for an opportunity to catch up with a friend, especially one of the less murderous ones. Then you notice Daraya eyeing Tyzeus' mug of unidentified liquid and an idea occurs to you. You get excited, bouncing a little on the balls of your feet as you introduce Tyzeus and Daraya to each other. You explain to Tyzeus with a meaningful look that you hope she'll interpret correctly that you and Daraya were just conversing about the more unjust aspects of Alternian society and how hopeless everything seems to be. Ooh, what do you mean, the more unjust aspects? Does Alternian society have aspects that are not unjust? I'm sweeps into studying our legal system, and I haven't found any. Daraya makes a muffled sound that could be a laugh. You make your meaningful look more meaningful. Doesn't Tyzeus remember that conversation she had with you about justice in the social shitty system? The importance of possibly futile work to try and improve things someday? Pissing? Tyzeus squints at you, then takes a long slurp from her mug. Right. Yeah, I remember. You wave your hands around. Now you're talking. Tyzeus is one of the few friends you've made that seems to not only notice that shit was fucked, but want to dedicate herself to unfucking the shit as much as she could. Of course, many of your dear friends try to make the world a little better in various clumsy, interpersonal, distinctly Alternian ways. You think of Trixie striving for her music even when it pits her against high bloods, the baffling but sweet ways that Kaniel and Azdaja and Gallic and Tagora care for each other. Aw. And Fazir's commitment to political... Wait, why did you think of that guy? He's a total shill for the Condes. Anyway, Tysius has a big picture mentality and a cause that she believes in, and the simple fact that she hasn't completely given up is expiring. Daraya is struggling with feelings of despair, so maybe Tysius could talk to her about the work that she's been doing. What? No, I'm not struggling. It's whatever. I don't even care. Daraya kicks at the ground sulkily. Tysius looks her over, her eyes lingering on the jade symbol on her shirt and her spiky black jewelry, then sighs. Sure you don't care. I went through a phase of telling myself that too. I thought it would make it easier to deal. But nah. Tysius pauses for another mug slurp, and you think she might be enjoying the opportunity to monologue a little bit. Daraya huffs. The only thing that helps, and I'm not even sure that helps is the right word for it, is finding something to work on in your own little corner. To try and make shit a little less... But there's nothing I can do in my corner. It's pointless to pretend otherwise. And that goes for everyone, like, this whole system is designed to help high blood stamp out dissent in every corner. One troll can't do anything against something like that. Tysius' eyebrow twitches as she stares at Daraya, clearly peeved at being interrupted. Uh-oh. This could be going better. Well, no shit. What do you take me for? I'm not saying that all it takes is standing up and fighting for what's right or something stupid like that. That's obviously a surefire way to get cold. Well then, what are you saying? How can you even know that whatever piddly little action you're taking will change anything? I can't tell you the future, dumbass. No one can give you a guarantee that any kind of action taken will be ultimately effective. You have to decide for yourself that's worth it to try anyway. Why would you think it's worth it when everything around us confirms that nothing will ever change? I can't believe you're calling me a dumbass when that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Tysius looks like she's about ready to throw the contents of her mug in Daria's face. Knowing Troll, she'd probably follow up with the mug itself. This is not the conversation you'd hoped for at all. You step in before things can get any more heated. You tell Tysius that you're sorry and that you didn't flag her down just so our ideas could be shit on. You turn to Daraya, who is staring at both of you with a defiant look on her face and a stubborn set to her jaw. This kid. She's just so dead set on rebelling against anyone who tries to tell her anything with even the faintest whiff of authority. You really thought that maybe all that attitude could be channeled into something productive that would also help her feel better and possibly even give her a sense of purpose. You're not mad, just disappointed. Ugh. Don't give me that look. Okay, I was just stating my opinion. But I guess I could have been a little less of a bone bulge about it. You're pleasantly surprised that Daraya more or less apologized. Tysius looks mollified too. This shit just makes me so angry. Angry and sad and helpless. Like, I don't even know what to do with myself when I really have to think about it. Bingo, unfortunately. I feel the same way. I don't think there's any getting around the helplessness. But what I was trying to say is that working on something that might help fix things someday makes that feeling a little less powerful. So what you're saying is it's actually about making yourself feel better. Well, when you put it like that, it sounds bad. I mean, I believe I'm working on things that might affect change someday, even if I'm not around to see it. But also, yeah, most of the time it helps me sleep at night too. You can tell Daria's a bit disappointed by this, like she doesn't trust that political rebellion can go hand in hand with making the rebels feel good about themselves. You point out that whether or not Tysius feels good about her work doesn't make the work itself any less effective. Yeah, in the end, the universe doesn't care about how I feel. I'm just one troll trying to do the right thing. Or at least the okay thing. For its own sake, even if it might ultimately be futile. But what the fuck else are we gonna do on this bitch of an Alternia? You got me there. I'm bored all the time and there really isn't anything cool to do down in the caverns. I guess during the downtime in my training I could, I don't know, help you out maybe? Not that I have anything to offer other than the book hive and the jade cloisters. Access to that might really help me with my research, actually. Give me your number and we can talk. Is it just your imagination, or does Tysius look a little smidgen less tired, the bags under her eyes less baggy and her back a little straighter? You think the corners of Daria's lips might be very slightly quirked up. Daraya turns her possibly a smile from Tysius to you. This was cool, I guess. Or at least not so bad. But I don't know if it counts as something cool. So I guess we can keep hanging out until more shit happens. You know Daraya well enough by now to recognize this for the ringing endorsement that it is. You're about to happily agree when Tysius pipes up. I'm just heading home from studying, but I'm not tired yet. If you want a third wheel to drag along. Three-way friendship combo Bob victory! Nice. I like them. I kind of ship them a little. Like, I don't know what quadrant. But they could be cute together. Alright, we have, one more bad ending, I believe. Suggests that she goes home. Thinking about the Jade Blood Caverns has got you really missing them. The quiet monotony, the cute little grubs, the dank air and darkness. You can't think of a better place to lie down and have a depression nap, perhaps even a depression coma. So you straighten up out of your slouch and tell Daraya that regardless of her opinion on Branya and how cool or lame she is, those cloister rules probably exist for a reason, right? Maybe the two of you can go back to the caverns together. Ugh. Fine, be a goody two-strut pot encasements. I'm gonna go somewhere else where it's not so lame. Lame. Bye, Daraya. Alrighty. The golden rule. You introduced 2 kindred souls. Cool. That was really cool. I love Tysius. I'm always happy to see her again. Daraya is... I'm looking for the right words here, because I was going to say something that... she's kind of like a standard rebellious emo teen almost, but not in a bad way. Like, she's recognizing that things are wrong with the system, and she would like to do something about it, but she doesn't really know how, so she's just kind of apathetic towards everything. Which is understandable, because I mean, things in Alternia are really screwed up, and if you even like try to go against the grain, you're probably gonna die. Hopefully she and Tysius will become like, I guess research partners, maybe? I don't know. Friends, at least, I hope. But yeah, that was pretty cool. I'm still kind of sad about that one ending with the fire in the mall. That was pretty dark. But yeah, I like Daraya. She's fun. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!